It was just an ordinary morning in Bikini Bottom when a simple sea sponge emerged from his pineapple, ready to chase his dreams. Little did he know, the world of fast food burgers was about to change forever.
The legend is that SpongeBob marched right into the Krusty Krab and was just hired almost on the spot. And of course, there's actually a lot more to it than that. I don't really think that SpongeBob actually knew how good a cook he was. Now, he had a lot of self-doubt.
Filled with apprehension, the young sponge was on the brink of giving up before ever even chasing his dream of fast food greatness. It was then that he was comforted by lifelong friend and neighbor Patrick Star.
Nobody believed in SpongeBob more than Patrick. The two of them, they were thick as thieves. And Patrick, he absolutely adored SpongeBob. He told him, "You're ready." And then SpongeBob said, "I'm ready." He was ready.
Star's words ultimately provided what SquarePants desperately needed: determination, encouragement, and the confidence to confront Navy veteran and self-made owner of the Krusty Krab, Eugene Krabs. Although SquarePants had overcome his nerves with the help of one neighbor, his next obstacle would come in the form of another neighbor, Squidward Tentacles.
How to describe Squidward? Well, I mean, he wasn't a bad guy. No, I mean, okay, deep down, he had a good heart, but people weren't crazy about him. Okay, he could be a bit of a jerk, especially toward SpongeBob. SpongeBob never could see how poorly Squidward treated him. He always saw the best in people. SpongeBob actually believed that Squidward would put in a good word for him.
I think Eugene really trusted Squidward, and if he said SpongeBob wasn't a good fit, that actually carried a lot of weight. So they sent him on this crazy errand. They wanted him to find a hydrodynamic spatula with port and starboard attachments and a turbo drive. Those are really hard to find.
Looking for an excuse to get rid of the eager sponge, Krabs sent him on a seemingly impossible errand, an errand that SpongeBob accepted with blind optimism. But moments after he left, disaster would strike the Krusty Krab.
To say that the anchovies that frequented the Krusty Krab were rowdy would be an understatement. These anchovies were downright aggressive.
5 undersea buses. That's how many pulled up to the Krusty Krab that day, each one overflowing with relentless and hungry anchovies.
These buses were packed with anchovies. They were like sardines. I mean, they just came flooding into the building, and I remember I could hear one of them shout, "Meep." And then there was this other one, he said something like, "Meep." I couldn't make out the rest.
Overwhelmed by the sheer force of the crowd, Krabs and Tentacles were forced to climb to the highest point of the crow's nest, clinging to safety as they awaited what seemed like their inevitable doom. Krabs could only weep as the fast food empire he'd built with his big, meaty claws was mere moments away from total destruction. Or so he thought.
It was right when all hope was lost. I mean, Mr. Krabs was literally crying for his mommy. And then, out of nowhere, this unassuming sponge comes running in with this monster of a spatula, and he says, "Did somebody order a spatula?"
I mean, you couldn't write a story this perfect. SpongeBob looked like an action star. He even brought his own megaphone. No, the guy had nerve. And needless to say, suddenly Eugene is paying very close attention to this little sea sponge from Conch Street.
Seeing his opportunity at last, SquarePants took center stage and went to work, making what amounted to thousands of Krabby Patties in record time.
Squidward didn't even have to seat anyone. SpongeBob just served the burgers directly into the customers' mouths.
Whenever Eugene would talk about that day, you could see in his eye stalks, he knew how lucky he was. The kid was lightning in a bottle.
Knowing that a winning lottery ticket had just walked into his store, Krabs hired SpongeBob on the spot. And much to Squidward's dismay, SpongeBob began a fry cooking career that would forever endear him to the citizens of Bikini Bottom. He had found the kind of happiness only fry cooking could bring. But little did he know that rough waters lay ahead.